Okay, hi everyone. I'm here with your 411 lesson, What if I do not know a length? In the last chapter, Introduction to Variables. Follow along as I read the introduction. In the last chapter, you worked with lengths, moving back and forth on a number line and comparing sign numbers, positive and negative. But what if there are lengths that you do not know? In this lesson, you will use clues to find unknown values. Unknown values are often represented by variables. Finding unknown values is one of the most important parts of algebra. Today's work will give you the background you will need for your upcoming work with variables. As you work with your team today, keep these questions in mind. How can I represent or visualize this situation? What information do I know? And what information do I need first? So we're going to turn over to problem 4.2, and that's where we're going to start. 4.2 says, now Croaky has a special new jump. Length. He moved between two fixed points each time with a different sequence. His trainer Tom drew the diagram below to represent his two sequences, using y to represent the length of Croaky's new special jump. Y, 5, y, 8 in the second sequence. Describe each of Croaky's two sequences. So go ahead and pause the video and describe Croaky's sequences. Okay, if you're back with me, you have described these two sequences. Hopefully you said something along the lines for the first sequence that Croaky did the special jump 3 times, then jumped 5 feet. For the second sequence, hopefully you said that Croaky, something along the lines, that Croaky did the special jump 2 times, then jumped 8 feet. Part B says, work with your team to figure out how far Croaky travels in each special jump. Be prepared to explain your thinking to the class. So go ahead and pause the video here and answer this question. If you're back with me, you have answered this question. So there are some ways that you could have done this, but you should have hopefully seen the pattern that if Croaky would have done one more special jump, that would have become y. So this is no longer 8. 3 y jumps only leaves 5 left over. So now our first and second sequence are the exact same thing. So you would need to have subtracted the values of what Croaky jumped, the two that you knew, which were 8 and 5. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. So his special jumps were 3 feet each. Okay. Part C says, what is the distance between the start and end of his sequence of jumps? So you're going to do sequence 1 and sequence 2 and figure out how far he traveled. So go ahead and pause the video and answer that question. Okay, if you're back with me, you've answered part C. That's going to be something we save and talk about in class. 4.3 says, Croaky has a new set of moves. The sequence involves 3 special high hops. The expression x plus x plus x plus 5 represents the whole sequence, with x representing the distance he moves with each high hop. In your own words, describe what you know about Croaky's new sequence. So go ahead and pause the video and answer part A. So how did you describe this? Hopefully you described it something along the lines of how we did in 4.2. So you would have said Croaky did 3 special high hops, then jumped 5 feet. Part B says, if Croaky's new sequence is a total of 11 feet, draw a diagram to represent Croaky's new sequence. Okay, your diagrams may look a little different here, but I'm going to draw my diagram kind of like how they did in the first and second sequence. So we know that we had a high hop, we had a high hop, we had a high hop, and then he traveled 5 feet. We also know that this total jump all together was 11 feet. So hopefully your diagram looks something like that. So we know that the total amount was 11 feet, even though he did 3 special high hops and he jumped 5 feet. Part C says, how far does Croaky jump with each high hop? How can you tell? So go ahead and pause the video and answer this question. And if you've answered this question, this is actually your last question for the lesson today. We're going to save this and talk about this one in class. If you have any questions, as always, please email me. Make sure that when you are done, you're taking pictures of your notes and uploading them to the Google Classroom assignment. That is all that I have for you today. Like I said before, if you have questions, please email me. We will go over some of these in class.